criminal cyber gang has stolen as much as $1 billion from over 100 financial institutions.
It says hackers used malware to gain access to banks in 30 countries. How were these thieves able to carry this out for so long?
The gang, which has been dubbed Carbanak.
Their ultimate goal was to steal as much money as possible.
Carbanak, a Russian hacker group that managed to steal $1 billion in a bank robbery, the largest and most astonishing cyber attack the world has ever seen. In the shadowy recesses of the internet, a new kind of criminal was born, emerging from the remnants of the notorious Carbanak group. A team of cyber geniuses from Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus came together. They call themselves Carbanak, named after the sophisticated malware that would become their most lethal weapon. These were not petty thieves or low-level hackers. They were architects of a plan so audacious it would shake the financial world to its core. The first step in Carbanak's grand heist was infiltration. They employed a technique known as spear phishing, targeting specific individuals within their chosen banks. Spear phishing involves sending seemingly legitimate emails to these targets, tricking them into clicking on links or downloading attachments. Unbeknownst to the victims, these actions secretly installed the Carbanak malware onto their systems. This malware was a masterpiece of criminal ingenuity. It served as a backdoor into the bank's networks, letting the hackers control everything remotely. But Carbanak's genius lay not just in the malware, but in their methodical approach. They didn't strike immediately. Instead, they waited, watching and learning. Once inside the bank's networks, Carbanak's hackers began their surveillance. They monitored bank employees' activities, recording videos and capturing screenshots. This allowed them to understand exactly how the banks operated. They observed every keystroke, every transaction, and every system interaction. Keyloggers installed on compromised computers provided the hackers with critical information, including login credentials and passwords. With this data, Carbanak could navigate the bank's internal systems as if they were employees themselves. After months of preparation, Carbanak was ready to execute their plan. They could identify key points within the bank's networks that, once accessed, would give them control over financial transactions and ATM operations. There was a three-layered attack designed to hit multiple targets simultaneously and maximize their haul. Layer 1, the ATMs. At precisely coordinated times, ATMs belonging to various banks began spewing cash uncontrollably. Money mules, individuals recruited by the hackers to collect the money, were positioned at these ATMs, ready to grab the cash as it poured out. The synchronization was perfect and millions of dollars were taken in a matter of minutes. Layer 2, the transfers. Carbanak then moved on to electronic transfers. Using the credentials and information they had gathered, they transferred huge sums of money to accounts controlled by another set of money mules. These accounts were often located in countries with lax banking regulations, making it difficult to trace the stolen funds. The money was quickly moved through a series of transactions, eventually ending up in drop accounts in China and the United States. Layer 3, the accounts. In a final twist, Carbanak began manipulating the accounts of ordinary bank customers. They pumped stolen money into these accounts, only to drain them completely a few minutes later. This not only added to their loot, but also created a layer of confusion and misdirection, making it harder for authorities to track the true source of the theft. The aftermath. The scale of the Carbanak heist was unprecedented. Over 2 years, they targeted banks in Russia, Germany, the United States, Ukraine, and China, stealing an estimated $1 billion. The financial world was left reeling, struggling to comprehend how such a massive theft could have occurred without anyone noticing. But Carbanak's success did not go unnoticed. Law enforcement agencies around the world began a massive investigation, pooling resources and information in an attempt to track down the perpetrators. It was a complex and arduous task, but eventually their persistence paid off. On March 6, 2018, the first major breakthrough occurred. In a coordinated effort involving the Spanish National Police, Europol, the FBI, and authorities from multiple countries, one of Carbanak's alleged leaders was arrested. The man, known as Dennis K., was of Ukrainian origin. His arrest was a significant victory, but it was just the beginning. Following Dennis K.'s capture, further arrests were made across Europe. In Germany, another key member of the gang was detained and later sentenced to 10 years in prison. 2 hackers were sentenced to 8 years in Kazakhstan for their roles in the heist. As more members of Carbanak were apprehended, the group's operations began to splinter and diminish. Thus, the tale of Carbanak, a story of incredible criminal ingenuity, breathtaking ambition, and inevitable downfall, concludes. But in the ever-evolving world of cybercrime is merely one chapter in a much larger narrative. The war between hackers and those who seek to stop them rages on, with each side constantly pushing the boundaries of technology and human ingenuity.